soon as they understand that when you get off the ladder, you have this in your pocket on your phone. When you get off the ladder, you can close the homeowner before you get off the driveway. You're about to close the homeowner before you leave the driveway. You will have the whole report in your phone, ready to show them.
Nice. But when you got guys trying to step into the industry that you want to close out quick, right? This report's ready within 60 seconds of them getting off the roof.
Hi guys, within 12 hours of the claim being filed, contingency, this report, storm data, measurements, and an estimate are in that claim file within 12 hours. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
If you use this method, and all your guys use this method, you will get on 30% more roofs per week per guy, because you're not going to be writing reports. They're done for you.
That's perfect. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
JT Shaheen here, founder of RIOT. Let's go over how we use our report at the door so that we can help your close rate go up. So what we do, of course, you have this digitally on your phone, but this is a printout to give you an example of the content that you're going to see when you get your RIOT report. So this is the cover page. Miss Johnson or Mr. Walker, you've scored a 28 on your roof system. So whether you buy this roof from me or not, what this tells me is that you're getting a new roof. So let's go through a couple of the things that I saw on this roof, and then I think I've got a couple options for you about how we fix it. So this is your front elevation shot. So we did not observe any hail damage or gutter damage or anything like that around the property, so we can kind of move on. That's just documenting for us what the perimeter of the property looks like. So we get onto the roof system itself. It looks like we've got one layer up here, Mr. Walker. You'll see that's your starter row, and then that's your main set of shingles. Down here is your drip edge. So locally in your county, you're supposed to have drip edge. It looks like your builder did not install that. So when we go to put this roof on, we're gonna need to make sure that we put drip edge around the perimeter of the property. So you do have a 30-year shingle. You see that with the shingle gauge that I used on your roof, and it is an asphalt style shingle. All right, going on to the damage. Here's the part that concerns me, Mr. Walker. So on this front slope, you have 10 affected units. Here's an example of some of the damage that I saw up there. Of course, if you want a more comprehensive look, I have that in the form of a photo report if you need to see it. But this is just sort of a highlight reel of the things that I found during the inspection. So the left slope, we see 8 affected. Here's an example of the damage that we saw, Mr. Walker. All right, we're gonna go on to the other slopes, 12 on the right. And there's a tremendous amount of repair work that needs to be done on this thing. And look, you know, we've got an example of that work on the right side right here, if you see the crease in the top of that shingle. Here's the rear, we've got another 9. And then this is what we call your post-inspection evaluation. So out of all of the shingles on the roof, 39 of them seem to be affected from that weather storm, okay? Your general roof condition is 9, which means that your shingles are very, very brittle. And brittle is important because it means when I go to repair that, I risk breaking a number of shingles above that repair. So 9 tells me that your roof is probably not recommended to be repaired. It looks like we're gonna have to take these shingles off and put new ones on. Okay, so this tells me a little bit about the rest of the roof. I'll let you go through that. Here's all your components, your vent pipe, your HVAC stacks, your satellite dish, your chimneys. All right, this is your wind turbines, your 750s, and then your ridge vent that's on the property. Here's some additional notes that I took. So Mr. Johnson at this point, or Mr. Walker, excuse me, at this point, I am gonna recommend a replacement, you know, just because of how this thing scored. So I'd like to walk you through a couple things if you have a couple minutes inside. That's the pitch, and if we do that pitch every single time using the RIOT report, our close rate goes up based on our statistics about 27%. Happy hunting.
Next week, set up a Zoom, find out what your needs are at the company, we'll get you locked in, man.
Happy to hear that.
Man.
Hey, you got my information. I'm happy to hear
I got you. No, you'll hear from me next week. We'll get that Zoom scheduled.
Cool. I look forward to it, bro. It's great meeting with you.
Have a good conference. I'll see you around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Negotiate the annual deal. And I didn't want to crunch numbers or anything like that.
Yeah.
I know we want to close at the show, but they weren't comfortable with it and they want to take the fucking meeting. So that's
good. Good.
You're putting you in front of them. Everything will be just fine.
I'm excited.
We're gonna need to hire a salesperson.
So one of our claims to fame is that we take a bartender and make him a roofing sales guy in 9 days.
That's a great analogy. Awesome. That's amazing.
I don't need to have my guys know anything about roofing because we can deploy a system like RIOT and within a matter of a week or two, take a very charismatic bartender, turn him into a roofer, right? This is the name of the game.
Let's get to why this software even exists. A company called Southern Roofing found themselves at $30 million in 9 markets, and they adopted another inspection tool in the industry, and they found that it was too hard to configure. It was mostly like a Dropbox link full of photos, but it didn't actually get you through the workflow of closing the homeowner and getting agreement for them to represent you, for you to represent them, I should say. They were at 30 million in 9 markets, and they decided to build their own tool. And by building their own tool, they focused on training and onboarding and speed to productivity of someone like a bartender that's never been on a roof in their life. And so in just 2 years, it took them 5 years to get to 30 million in 9 markets. And just 2 more years after this software I'm about to show you, they were able to go to 80 million in 24 markets. And Southern Roofing is now part of Legacy, which is the largest residential roofing company in North America. Now, why does it matter? What does it actually affect? Let's say you're doing 15 inspections a week, right? So your guys are doing 15 inspections a week, and your win rate is about 25% for $12,000 size roofs, and you can lay roofs for 50 weeks a year because you're in a warmer climate. And so this is about $45,000 a week of revenue for 50 weeks with 10 staff. Would be $23 million. Now, if you had RIOT and we take the learnings that created this outcome and we plug it into the KPIs that are improved, you're going to see that your team can actually complete about 33% more inspections per person. So that number 15 is going to go to 20. And what you're going to notice in your close rate when we show you the report in just a minute is all of the information, both for the homeowner and for the insurance adjuster, is so consistent and so well documented that you're actually going to see about a 10% improvement in the number of roofs that you get off of that actually turn into revenue, that should turn into revenue for the homeowner. You know, the side benefit is you, the contractor. And you're also going to see that the deal size goes up, again, by about 10%, some markets 8, some markets 12. And this is due to the fact that the app makes you document every single micro component, drip edge, and all the goodies so that your submission and the negotiation with the insurance adjuster contains everything that should be part of the claim, rather than relying on training to a new roofer to remember all these things and check off checklists and find them on the roof and take the right photos. So that's what drives this. It's not that the roof is growing in size, of course. It's that you're actually submitting the right information the first time. And when you apply these factors to the same exact company that was doing things with either another app in the industry or on their own methods with their own camera phone, you're going to see a profound impact. In this case, it's like a 50% impact. Now, look, let's be reasonable. You're probably not going to get a 50% impact. So let's say one of these is off by even half. There's still a profound amount, and you can see it in the performance of this company here. There's a profound amount of opportunity in the inspection process alone, and that's what RIOT really focuses on. Now let's move to what it looks like to actually use the software. So I'm going to show you here on the app what the app looks like. We're going to play on the TV side by side.
Naturally, we're going to have a tape measure to measure.
It's pretty loud,
any
so we're going to turn it down.
That is shingles, pipe boots, flash.
What you're seeing here is training. So it's not just about how to do the roof inspection, it's training. You see Donnie here is taking you through the things you need in your bag before you get on the roof. So it's how to do the job, it's training, and other information and content. I'm going to skip ahead where you're going to start to see some other workflow items. So behind me is a real roof in Florida that was done last week. Right here, you're going to see me start from scratch. So when I open up the app and I go, I'm gonna save and continue later here for this particular one, so we can start over fresh. All right. So if we start over fresh, we're just going to add a new house. I got to type in all the customer's information, and we're just going to make up some random values here. And now we have this new Mia house. Then I'm going to begin the job, and I'm going to start with the main structure. If you have a garage or another building, you can add those structures as needed. So when we hit begin, upside down's fun. For interior, we're going to skip this. I'm going to make this fast here. For interior, I'm just going to capture one room here. Sometimes you don't even get in the inside. So no measurements available. My interior is done. So we're not going to focus on interior today. We're going to focus on exterior. Notice how it's making me, just like what's happening to Donnie here, he's being forced to make choices. I'm being forced to make choices. So it's guiding me through step by step where I need to go. So it's telling me first I need to take a front elevation photo. If I get my hand off the camera here, there we go. So I take that photo. If I notice that there's something wrong with the driveway, then I can scroll down to driveway and say I'm going to take a photo of the driveway. Okay? If I see there's other damage, maybe I notice them on the gutters, maybe I'll take a photo of the gutters. So again, we're in a trade show here, so we're going to X out of that. And we're going to go left, and it's going to move us through. I got a magic button here called all clear. So I've just pretended that we finished that. Now we're on the roof system itself. So preliminary evaluation is going to ask you what kind of shingles are these, and you need to take a photo and document that you have proven the number of layers by first choosing how many layers and then actually taking the photo. Does it have drip edge? Well, in this case, we're going to say it does, and we're going to document that photo as you're seeing happen here on this screen. So he's a little bit ahead of me, and he's got all the way down to the post-inspection evaluation. So if I go back and I catch up where he is, he's on post-inspection evaluation, and you see he's going through these different pieces and parts, and he's selecting the values that are appropriate, being guided the whole way through. Now, speaking of components, there are many. As you're seeing on the screen behind me, does it have a satellite on the roof? Is there a satellite? Well, if there is, you need to document that. You're going to have to replace around that satellite. Now, let's skip to the end of this. When you're done, all you have to do is hit complete this job. And when you complete that job, you need an email address. So we'll just use my own email address here. All right, so and there's my email for any of you watching. There we go. Now I've submitted this job. Here goes all the photos pulling off of the internal memory of the device, not actually from the photo reel. It's going to all end up on a zip folder. You can grab them later, every single photo you took. The report is being built on the fly as we're talking right now. Now, if I have no signal, the app works offline, still does the job, still lets you finish, and will pipe it back up later when it hits an internet signal. What does the report actually look like? Well, the real power is, first we start with the score. And this score is the repair or replace score. This is a guide. This is not an industry standard. We're not trying to start a fight. This is meant to be your guide as the customer of RIOT, the roofing contractor, that says, look, if it's below a 70, it's low 80% improvement. Low 80% likelihood this roof's going to be paid for by insurance. It's if below a 60, it goes up into the 90s. If it's above a 70, but below an 80, might be a repair. Above an 80, this is probably a roof that just doesn't have enough issues to be replaced. The homeowner should keep that roof, and the insurance company should keep their money. So as you work through it, you're going to get the same exact photo layout and structure for every single report, no matter which rep is doing it. It's going to have the same information because it makes them capture the same information. Remember some of these choices we made around number of layers and type of shingle, on into the damage, where did you find it, what about elevation, all the goodies. So as we scan through all these goodies, we get to the back and we notice there's all of our components and different pieces and parts that we need to inform the project team. What are they dealing with? All of these might be part of the claim as well. So it's mandatory capture, organized perfectly. and you're able to show this to the homeowner when you get off the ladder before you even leave the driveway. So this is going to be your best friend if you're doing insurance work and you're working with folks that are in stormy areas and there's hail and wind damage, and your job is to help them get a new roofing system that currently has issues today. This is going to be your best friend because you're going to be able to do more work, and you're going to see a profound impact to your business, just like the inventors of this software found in their business as they scaled and became now part of the legacy roofing company.